and it's also just about seeing all the pretty things. Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you'd like to know more about my knitwear designs, please check in the description below, and there you will find a link to my Ravelry designer page where you can get patterns for yourself to knit up, the ones that I've designed. Also in the description below, you will find a link to the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group, where if you'd like to continue the conversations we're having here, you can come on over and we can have lots of fun. Now, I decided to do a little bit of a let's talk today because I have an exciting announcement to make. And what we're going to talk about today is knit-alongs. I've mentioned them a couple of times, but I thought I'd get specific about what they are, and also a subset of knit-alongs, which is a mystery knit-along. And the big excitement is I am actually starting a mystery knit-along. It is up and it will start on May 25th, but I will talk about the details on that at the end of the video, just in case that you're watching this later and the mystery knit-along is already passed. I still wanted to give information on knit-alongs. So listen to all the knit-along stuff, and if you're looking for the mystery knit-along information, wait towards the end. Now, what is a knit-along? A knit-along is simply a bunch of knitters knitting the same thing, or based on a same theme. So I have in the past done specific pattern knit-alongs. We just finished the Unheeded Warnings knit-along, where what it was is everyone was knitting the same pattern. You can pick out the yarn you want to use, but all you needed was the pattern, and we ran it both on Ravelry and Facebook. And what it is there's a set period of time where you can't cast on before a certain amount of time, and we decide, okay, it's going to take X number of months or weeks, or however long, and so you have a beginning date and a deadline date. And a lot of people really like the knit-alongs because it gives them a framework to work within. Sometimes it is very easy to get distracted by whatever is new and shiny. People call it cast-on-itis, and you want to cast on things. So having this, what is essentially artificial deadline, can motivate certain people, and that's why a lot of people like knit-alongs. Another reason that people like knit-alongs is that when multiple people are working on the same project, there are always people there to help. So if you run into an issue, you can pop into the Ravelry page or the Facebook page, or if you're doing it in person, you can ask your friend at Knit Night, I ran into this and I'm having problems with this. Or you can post on Ravelry, I'm having an issue with this. And there will be people there to say, oh, I hit that same problem and here's how I solved it. Because more likely than not, if you're running into an issue with it, then somebody else probably had an issue with it also. Now, I try to write my patterns to be as explanatory as possible, but different people learn in different ways. And the way I explain something in the pattern might not quite click with your learning style. So I participate in the knit-alongs and I try to answer questions, but there will be times where my answer didn't really, for some reason, it didn't mesh with your understanding. So it's possible that someone else in the knit-along can explain it in a different way that makes more sense to you. Also, like in Unheeded Warnings, several people ran into an issue with doing a slip stitch after a yarn over. And since I had that immediate feedback that people were having issues with it, I was able to make a video and put it up and link it to the group and say, here is how to solve that problem. So that is one of the great things about knit-alongs, is that it's a group effort that can help you overcome challenges that you might have been struggling with by yourself if you were just knitting the pattern alone. So it's about camaraderie, and it's about helping each other, and it's also just about seeing all the pretty things. I mean, just looking at other people's color choices and being inspired and seeing what other people are knitting, and it really just feels I really enjoy knit-alongs because you feel like you're a part of something, and that is always fun. Because sometimes knitting is just sitting in your house by yourself and knitting. And while I love sitting by myself and knitting, sometimes you want to feel part of a community. And not everyone has access to a knit night. Or I don't know about you, but even though I do have knit nights, I can't go to knit night every night. So having this online community is actually a lot of fun. So the way knit-alongs work is either, like, as I said, you can do an individual pattern, or sometimes there's a theme. I actually at one point did a lace along where you could use any of my patterns that involved lace. I did a bead along, so it was any of my patterns that involved beads. So you're working on the same techniques. They're all, you know what? The sky is the limit with your imagination. You could have a sock along where everyone is just knitting socks. It's just, again, the support system and having the group together and having fun. So with a regular knit along, you pick out your yarn, you join the knit along, you pick out your yarn, you have your pattern, either the one that it's about, or if you get to pick out a pattern, and then you knit it during the set period, and you post pictures of what you're working. I have a YouTube video on how to post pictures and how to start a project page, so all that kind of stuff is fun. I'll put links in the description below to all of those, and probably link them up here someplace. And then you have a deadline, and everybody posts by the deadline. Sometimes there are prizes, but oftentimes the prize is simply being motivated to finish it in the first place. Okay? Now, a subset of knit-alongs is the mystery knit-along. And what the mystery knit-along is you don't know what you're knitting. It's kind of funny, and it's for people who like the excitement. So sometimes you have zero idea what you're knitting. They just tell you how much yarn of what weight, and you don't even know. It could be a hat, it could be a bird, you don't know what it is. And sometimes you have varying amounts of information. You might know that it's like a pair of socks, and you know that. They might even go as far as saying it's a pair of toe-up socks. You might have an idea of the construction. It depends on what is the mystery part of it. Is the mystery what you're making, or is the mystery the techniques that are going to be used for what you're making? And then what happens is you sign up for the mystery knit along. You buy the pattern, and usually what you'll get is you'll get your PDF, and all it is the information on your yarn and your needles, so you're ready to go. And then there will be a start date where everybody gets a clue on that first start date, and it will be a portion of the pattern. And what the designer has done is broken up the pattern into multiple clues, and you have a set period of time to execute those clues. So you get clue 1 and you knit it, and then you'll get clue 2, and each one will be in its separate document so that you can work along. So you will have a period of time to finish that clue, and then you move on to the next one and the next one until it's done, and you get to see it as it grows. Now, oftentimes the thing that is mysterious about it and what's fun is that it's an interesting construction that you think you're starting with a top-down triangle, but then it takes a left-hand turn and it goes off in this direction, and you get a weird thing, and it's all kinds of crazy. Sometimes it's that it's changing patterns. You know, there's all different kind of ways, and it's all a mystery. But you're knitting with people. Most of the time in the Ravelry groups, you're going to have a couple of different threads. One is going to be a no spoilers thread, and then one is going to be a spoilers thread. And what that means in a no spoilers thread is you shouldn't be posting pictures of what you're working on, just in case there's someone who's behind you and doesn't want the mystery is coming up. They don't want to be spoiled. They want the surprise. They want the mystery. So you really need to watch, if you're posting pictures, watch for spoilers versus non-spoilers, because a lot of what people are attracted to is the mystery of it. So structures. So regular knit along, you have the pattern, and your yarn and you knit along and you have a deadline. Mystery knit along, you may or may not know what you're knitting and you get clues along the way until you're finished. And be careful about spoilers versus no spoilers. Okay? Now, so here is, I decided to do a mystery knit along. And for one thing, I will tell you up front is that it's a shawl. I know, you're totally surprised that it's a shawl. I decided, I pondered the name, and I decided the name should pretty much have absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with the end piece. I just wanted a fun name. And someone I had asked, I'm like, I gotta figure out this name. And another friend said, why don't you think about like old mysteries? And she said she liked to read the Scarlet Pimpernel. And for some reason, my little choo-choo train of thought went like, oh, Scarlet Pimpernel, old mysteries. What did I liked playing Clue when I was a kid. So I thought of the Clue game, which I loved. And then I decided to name the shawl In the Library with the Candlestick. So that is the name of the shawl, In the Library with the Candlestick. It gives you absolutely no hints at all. All you know, it's a shawl. But what I will tell you is that it's a shawl. And the thing that is the mystery about it is we are going to be knitting mosaic lace. Mosaic lace is the subject of my book. It is a combination of slip stitch style mosaic colorwork and lace so that you can create colorwork lace. The cool thing about it is because it's slip stitch, you're only ever working with one strand of yarn. You're knitting stripes and slipping stitches. You don't carry extra yarn across the row. You're just knitting with the one color. When you get to the right side row, you drop the color you're working with, you pick up the other color, and you knit another stripe. And what the mystery is we are going to progress through some different mosaic lace stitches. And we've got I'm really excited. There's some brand new stuff that nobody has ever seen. And we're going to work you through some challenges. We're going to start out a little bit easy and work our way up through interesting things as we go along. There's a total of 4 clues. Plus the setup. The setup is released. I will put a link in the description below to the Ravelry page where you can do it, where you can find the pattern, and you will get the setup where it is DK weight yarn. And I used Anzula Lucero. Here are the colors I used. Aren't they gorgeous? And this is a sparkle yarn because why not? You have to have sparkle. And this is a merino cashmere sparkle. If you are not into sparkle, Lucero is actually Anzula's sparkle version of a DK weight yarn they call Cricket. So Cricket is the same weight, the same yardage, it knits the same. It's just instead of the stellina, it has nylon. So if you are not a sparkle person, I recommend the Cricket. If you are sort of a sparkle person, you could do one Lucera and one Cricket. Or if you want all the sparkles all the time, like me, go with the sparkle yarn. And the details are on the Ravelry page as far as the yardage. We're going to use 1 skein of each. So it is not going to be a huge shawl, and I wanted you to be able to work through it. As I said, it's released now. Our official start date is going to be May 25th, will be the drop of the first clue. And then there will be another clue each week for a total of 4 weeks, 4 clues. We're going to knit this puppy in a month. Okay, a little over a month. To start off with, if you buy the pattern right now, when we're in setup and planning, the pattern is $4. With each clue release, the price is going to go up 50 cents until at the end, when I release the last clue, it will be my standard shawl price of $6. So, because you're trusting me and being willing to have a little bit of the mystery, the pattern is discounted at the beginning. But I've already started a Ravelry group for the Ravelry thread for this. So if you want some help picking out colors, or if you need any advice at colors or yarn, come on over and we start chatting. And that's why we give a full month between when I release the the announcement that it's going to happen and when we're actually starting. I put it out today, which is the 25th, and actually you'll be watching this on the 26th, and then we're not going to start until May 25th. So you have a whole month to decide on your yarn, get it. Make sure you have it, get it out of your stash or order it. Find some place that carries Nzula because it's awesome. And so you have time to figure it out. And then the PDF that you will get when you first purchase the pattern does have a small setup section. So you can get an idea if your colors are working together and if you like them. It's sort of like doing a swatch, but it's actually starting the pattern. So that is the information I have for you. I am super excited about this mystery knit along, and I hope that this video gave you a little insight into knit alongs and why you might want to do a knit along, and maybe intrigue you about mystery knit alongs. I really can't say enough good things about knit alongs and how they help make it's just fun to see what everybody else is doing and to work with some people who are doing the same thing as you are and who are as excited about it as you are. So I hope that you're going to come over and I will see you on Ravelry with the mystery knit along. And of course, if you're not into the mystery, once the pattern is available and once the knit along is over, the final picture will be up, and if you want to wait until you see what the shawl looks like, I totally understand, because some people aren't into the mystery. Some people want to know what they're getting. It's a win-win either way. So sparkle yarn, I don't know, can you guys see the sparkles? Oh, it's so hard to get sparkles on the video, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, click the like button. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. Thank you so much.